But bottom line, if I'm going 4 patients in 1 hour, 1 unit visit, I am documenting 4 units of care. I don't care if it's 1 patient or 4 patients. Yes, I'm putting it into different accounts, but it's still the same documentation burden.
More clicks, more pages on your EMR.
We have a second one that came in as well, because once we got the first Dear Breakfast Club, that's when it happens. The floodgates open. Here's the second one. Is this us? Is this
no? This was a public post. This was not to us, but
that's a good one. Let's talk about it.
This is a public post. Sorry, Dave.
All right. So this was in a Facebook group, a physical therapy Facebook group, Uncaged Clinician, Joseph Klarberg with fourth. What's that?
I said, yeah, I'm in that one too. Go ahead.
Yeah. So with the fourth quarter starting, we're all thinking about the future plans and growth. With the current Medicare proposed cuts for 2025, where do you realistically see the profession in 2, 5, and 10 years? What are you planning to do to combat the potential cuts and remain profitable? Just want to open the discussion to let people brainstorm together and share ideas in public, basically in these Facebook groups.
Right.
Thank you. Now,
they're cool. I like them.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't take Medicare, so I need Tony Maritato to jump in and answer this first, and then I can chime in on my thoughts of, our approach.
It's another case where you, the therapist, make the decision. Are you in business to do what you want to do, or are you in business to serve the consumer, the customer, the client, whatever you want to call them? If I'm here to serve the customer, and I'm going to have 2 customers, the insurance company and the actual patient who's in my clinic, then if Medicare is going to do something, I'm going to respond, not react, right? There's a difference there. So my response, if Medicare is reducing reimbursement, I'm going to find ways to increase total cart value, quote, revenue. I'm going to add RTM into the system. I'm going to add other cash pay services into the system. I'm going to sell products. I'm going to do more things that my patient wants and is willing to pay out of pocket for. And I'm not solely going to rely on Medicare or any other third-party payer. The other thing is I'm going to optimize the system. I'm going to grease the wheels as long as it works to my patient's benefit. And I am still an advocate and a believer that once you get past that first 10, 15 minutes of time, everything else is just, it's water. What is it, off a duck's back? Like, patients do not remember 60 minutes of education. Patients do not remember all of this clinical stuff that we're trying to drive home and trying to impress them and trying to do all these things. Patients want to feel good. They want to be happy. They want to leave feeling better than they came in. That's it. And I can deliver that in 10 minutes. I can still offer a 20, 30, 40-minute experience. It's just like going to a restaurant. There are times that you want to be there longer, and there are times you want to eat and get out. If I eliminate 4-unit visits from Medicare and I just do single-unit visits 5 days a week, I save Medicare money. I make more money. I showed the numbers on a post recently. I think it was a triple the profit for single-unit visits with 0 extra work because you're still billing for time. 60 minutes is 60 minutes spread across 4 patients or 1 patient or 6 patients. That's what I would do.
Hold on. You said no extra work. You do need extra marketing work on the front end to get 3 Medicare patients to come in that same hour compared to the 1 Medicare patient at 9 a.m. You need 3 Medicare patients to come in at 9, 9:15, 9:35, right?
Maybe. A lot of the people we're talking to have wait lists. Why don't we get rid of the wait list? Let those people come in. They've already spent the money. They already did the marketing. Those people are ready to come in. So some people might have to increase their marketing efforts. Some people might have to increase their, new patient admissions, right? So if I have to admit 4 new patients instead of 1, but those are logistical issues that could be solved with better systems. I still would say they're relative to tripling your profit, a little bit of extra admin work, probably worth it.
Yeah.
And that's where I always fall back on.
Yeah, I default.
Go ahead.
I default to this, right? Like, so this is a seesaw I talk about all the time, this visual. So if someone's going to be holding down that price, if you honestly have no control over the cost, the price that you can charge someone for something, then the only thing you can you about it on the internet. That is always effective. It just doesn't do anything. Or you can work on the value, or you can work on how many different, I mean, Tony's changing the game there with saying, well, if I can get more people in and with single unit visits, what am I providing while they're there? Right. This goes back to the very, very simple question of what business are you in? What product or service do you actually provide? And if you provide physical therapy, using air quotes on a podcast here, you will be beholden to the right side of that seesaw. You're going to be stuck. Someone else is determining the maximum you can charge for your time in that situation. And that is a sucky place to be in. That's why you see a lot of naysayers online saying this is the worst time to ever be a PT. But if you're only focused on the right side, you're in trouble. To
Dave's point, because you're right. Like there are therapists in, a development of their business where they don't have enough patients, and it will cost those therapists more. Yes. But there are also a lot of therapists like me, like there's never a time where we don't have extra people in the clinic. I have my non-covered maintenance program. You can call it a wellness program. Those patients are floating around. They always have orthopedic issues. There isn't a day out of the week that I couldn't turn them into a legitimate physical therapy patient if I wanted. But I also recognize the value and the benefits to them of just coming in and working out, coming in and moving a little bit.
But you decided there what value you provided, and there wasn't just you're not a train station. There's not one track to go through Tony's clinic. There might be a track or lots of tracks that lead to the door. But once you're there, you say, well, what do you actually need? And then Tony was smart enough to know, well, can I build a track for that? Can I provide that? Like this person needs, and I'm using air quotes again, they're handheld. This person needs an appointment to stare somebody who has the personality that matches with them every time. The way to do that is to build them for that. But when their benefits are up and you say, do you like this? Is this of benefit to you? Yes. Then this is how you pay for that. I feel like that's where a lot of therapists with the Peace Corps gene deep in their gut fail. It's like, well, they're done. Let me just give it pro bono, which again, I'm for if you can afford that or that's a route. But someone paying for something they find value in is called capitalism.
So where do you go with it, Dave?
So I do want to come back and ask Tony again, where do you see the profession in 2 years, 5 years, especially in 10 years? I want to come back to that. But what you're proposing, Tony, I think would only work maybe in your style of practice, your kind of like approach. But again, I just want to double click on this. If you have 3 or 4 1-unit visit Medicare patients per hour, that takes more admin in terms of like either calling, confirming visits. 10 or 15% of those folks for outpatient are going to no-show or cancel anyway, right? Compared to like the one patient that comes for 9 a.m., you're going to have cancels there. Here's another thing that Tony never addresses. Tony, the therapists are now writing more notes per day because they have to write 3 or 4 notes per hour, or they use HippoScribe or whatever. But there's still extra work to make sure that it gets in. No. How am I wrong?
Can I answer for Tony?
Yeah.
Can I answer for Tony? Now, I might not get the perfect thing, but this is what you get when you listen to Tony enough. If you focus on the process and make the processes easier, those things aren't as much of a speed bump. Is that something you like, making sure you understand that if you build the process, so if you spend the time and the effort building the process in the front end, the effort goes down and you're not going to earn anything in the beginning when you're building, but you're going to earn a lot more when you go later. Yeah,
that's a huge part of it for sure. So writing more notes, that's what everybody says. It's like, I have great friends and they're like, hey, what are you doing today? I'm like, I'm going to do some errands. What are you doing? Well, I need to do laundry and I need to collect all the clothes and I need to sort them into whites and darks and I need to do this. I need to get the syrup and I need to put them in and I need to switch it. You can break a job into 50 million pieces. The bottom line is, if we're going to talk documentation, we are documenting for time. We are documenting for minutes. So yes, 4 patients, but I'm documenting for 60 minutes of delivery of service. I would argue documenting for a 15-minute unit is by far easier than documenting for 60 minutes. I think there's a lower liability there because I'm utilizing less services. And when you look at how Medicare puts you on the radar, it's generally based on utilization as a component. So a therapist who's utilizing more units per visit, more units per week, more units per episode is always going to have a bigger target on their back. But bottom line, if I'm going 4 patients in 1 hour, 1 unit visit, I am documenting 4 units of care. I don't care if it's 1 patient or 4 patients. Yes, I'm putting it into different accounts, but it's still the same documentation burden.
More clicks, more pages on your EMR. Go ahead.
We're talking one extra click. I'm clicking on John instead of clicking on Larry. That's it. It's one click. But okay, you're right. You're right. And I would say you're right in the sense that, yes, this works in my practice. This works with my personality. This works with my team. It's not going to work for you. But the point in this is, if I can build something that works within my culture, you can build something that works within your culture. And you did. Like you said, I can't do that. I don't want to do that. That's not what I'm great at. So I'm going to go self-pay. I'm going to go out of network. I'm going to stick to where I can deliver the greatest value. I can deliver the greatest value at this end of the bell curve. You're delivering the greatest value at the other end. But don't say that my end can't be done or it can't be, it absolutely can be. And I'm living proof of that. Like, I'm here in the clinic today because when we finish talking, I'm going to get out there and I'm going to get my hands dirty.
I do want to show the feedback loop of actually hosting a live show. The person who wrote in has already texted me and said, "Thank you so much. Jeff's definitely working on high-speed communication. Got news yesterday of a PT starting in a few months. So things are on the up. I like the point of checking in with the current team. I just did that, but before this second PT resignation. Always sticky." So the fact that person's, go ahead.
For that, so that facility manager, first of all, thank you for watching live again. You're incredible. You're awesome. And feedback, we love it. To the facility manager, start texting and emailing that candidate stuff. I don't know. Maybe Tony or Jimmy can give you some ideas, whether it's, events happening in the community, pumpkin patch, pumpkin picking, apple pick, whatever. Like, start sending them stuff to build rapport, build relationships, and make the commitment, because they're starting in a couple months. Life happens in a couple months. You have no idea what can happen between now and then.
That's it. Why? Because yes, on October 1st, life happens between October 1st and November 1st. And if you're holding your breath on that one, again, going back to my days in radio, it's just where like my experience comes from. If that person is there and then they're not, and that was the thing you were pinning all your success on, hope's not a plan, my man. Like, so yes, have a bench, be warming that bench.
Now, you could do peer-reviewed articles to each other, like a little journal club over email, like literally anything. But go ahead, Tony.
I was just going to say that same principle is why I push so hard to get patients in today. If you call my clinic this morning, you were coming in this afternoon, because anything can happen between today and tomorrow, today and next week. We complain about, to Dave's point, well, I don't have enough patients. Well, how quick are you calling them back? How quick are you getting the evaluation done, building that line of communication?
Dude, I don't know anything about this business model, but I started listening to that Corner Office podcast, and I mentioned it to you guys. And he's just a guy who like analyzes businesses really quickly. And I had to help somebody move really quick. So what did I do? I Googled moving and in the name of my town, and I got like 4 or 5 different places. And I blew off a couple who just wanted me to call. I wanted to fill something out and like get a quote or get a text or something. So I found 3 of those to their credit, and I got calls or texts within 5 minutes. I mean, these people were aggressive. And then I thought about it. If I was in the moving business and I have a truck and a bunch of dudes outside, I'm not making any money. So that one job deciding yes or no is binary. I think PTs should pay more attention and act like moving companies, which is get them in today. Because if you let them go a day, a week, or a couple of weeks, that person's going to either decide that's not a problem anymore, right? Or go somewhere else to get that solved. So act as if. And I don't know, man. I feel like your job as a manager, that's part of it.
Hey, it's Dave Kittle. Are you a healthcare business owner or physical therapy practice owner who is looking to figure out your succession plan or exit strategy? We might be able to help. And in fact, we may be interested in acquiring your practice. If you're interested, you can reach out to me. Shoot me an email at dave@conciergepainrelief.com. That's DAVE at CONCIERGE, painrelief.com. Or you can call me at any time, 646-781-8884.